All right, well, good afternoon. This is Chris Lukasevich, Carbon County Commissioner. It's 22 October, Thursday. We just finished up the Commissioners meeting for this week. I'm going to be present here for about the next 15 or 20 minutes. Feel free to give me a call, 570-503-6780. Obviously, you can always drop me an email also at clukasevich@carboncounty.net. Let me go ahead. I'll put that phone number in here real quick. All right, 570. There's the phone number. There's the all right, there's my phone number. There's my email address. Feel free at any time. Give me a call, with the exception of calling between 5:30 and 7:30 in the evening. Again, this is Carbon County Commissioner Chris Lukasevich. I'm going to be with you for about the next 15, maybe 20 minutes. If you have a question, you can give me a call, you can email me, or you can post. I should be able to see the comments pop up on my left side of my screen here. A little bit about today's Commissioners meeting. It wasn't that much going on, to be honest, just a lot of administrative kind of bookkeeping, cleaning up taking place. Let me take a look here. All right, let's see, look at this. I'm just real quick going through the agenda, see if there are any big items that may have interest to everyone out there. Now, we did have a special election board meeting today, and that was really just to verify the voter rolls. And what the final numbers are, Pennsylvania Carbon County voters, we have a total registered voters, 46,916 registered voters in Carbon County. Now, interesting, that 46,916 registered voters is out of a total population pool, 18 and older, of 51,859. So we actually have in Carbon County 90% of eligible adults, eligible to register to vote, adults have registered to vote. Now, we also know not everyone votes, so we can expect, based on the numbers on 2016, we can expect about a 69% voter turnout during 3 November's general primary election is what it's formally recalled to. That'll be taking place on 3 November. So again, we can expect about a 69% voter turnout, seeing somewhere about 32,000 plus voters should be turning out on election day. Again, that's going by historical numbers that we have there. So that was really the big item that came out of the special election board meeting. One or two other items in regards to the election. If you have a mail-in ballot and you prefer not to drop it into the mailbox, you can feel free to come on down. There is a drop box at 76 Susquehanna Street in Jim Thorpe. You'll see a big red arrow when you come up inside the first door, because it's 2 sets of doors there. Go through the first set of doors, you'll see a big red arrow pointing down, and it'll say mail-in drop box. And you can put your mail-in ballot right in that, what looks like a regular mail slot, which drops into, right behind there, a large secured locked box. And that drop box is checked about every hour, even sometimes up to every half hour. Just over, I know Lisa Darter, Director of Election, stated that there have been 10,827 mail-in absentee ballot requests. So far, about 50% of them have come back. That's 5,829 have been returned. Of 10,827 requested mail-in absentee ballots. Election coming up, 3 November. Polls opening first thing in the morning, running till 8 o'clock at night. If you haven't done a mail-in ballot or absentee ballot, please ensure you take this opportunity to get out to the polls and cast your vote. The mail-in ballots, counting of the mail-in ballots, and that's really going to be opening the exterior envelope, open the secrecy envelope, taking out the ballot and putting it in the scanner, will start as early as 7 a.m. All right, so we'll be starting at 7 a.m. in the Bureau of Elections for the mail-in ballots. Now, they will be tabulated, but of course, no results will be released until sometime after the polls close. But by law in Pennsylvania, starting at 7 a.m., the process of counting the mail-in ballots can begin. Now, we do have a high-speed letter opener that does about 400, will cut about 400 envelopes a minute. So we'll be using that to open first the outside envelope, then the secrecy envelope. Then the ballot, mail-in ballot, will be pulled out. It'll be placed into the scanner and scanned and tabulated. And then that information, the tabulations, will take place, and sometime after 8 o'clock, the returns should start coming in. So that's from the election side. Let me talk just a couple of minutes about the COVID-19 relief Carbon County block grant. We are in the middle of the application period for our second round. So if you have a loss of revenue associated with having to respond to the pandemic, I would ask you to consider going to carboncounty.com to the COVID-19 relief Carbon County block grant portal. Look at the application process, the eligibility requirements, and ascertain if your entity or organization might be eligible for the remaining 1.1, 1.2 million funds. Wesley, I see, can you get a traffic light at Morey Road in 903? Actually, no. That is a state highway in Penn Forest Township. We are well aware of the increased traffic up there. PennDOT has to do a traffic study to determine the necessity of such an implement being placed up there. So Wesley, I'm going to have to direct you to Doyle Heffley's office. They are the direct contact to state departments such as PennDOT. So feel free to give Doyle Heffley's office a call down there in Weissport, and his staff can take that concern to PennDOT to look at the possibilities of creating what is unquestionably a dangerous situation there up where the Morey Road connects into 903. Back to the COVID-19 relief Carbon County block grant. As I said, you have between now and the 30th of the month, so the end of the month nearly, to get your applications in for the block grant, and that's at carboncounty.com. Okay, thanks, Wesley. Sorry I couldn't be more helpful, but I'm just being honest. In addition, from the first round, we just put out our last checks are being dispersed to 9 different, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 entities had their checks mailed out today. Blended Bakery, Carbon County Cultural Project, Dietz, Cuts, Stone Road Pub and Eatery, Bowmanstown Volunteer Fire Company, BSA Triple Nickel, Boy Scouts, St. John's Evangelical, St. Mark's and St. John's, in addition to Jim Thorpe Independent Film Festival. Now we are still awaiting return documentation from 5 entities, 2 boroughs, but they meet towards the end of the month, so we're expecting that documentation that they need to get back to the county after their monthly meeting. And we have 3 other entities that still have to get their paperwork back to the county so we can disperse the checks for the block grant. So again, this is Carbon County Commissioner Chris Lukasiewicz. This is the meeting after the meeting. Taking about 15-20 minutes just to spend some time here with you virtually. Answer any questions, concerns you may have. You can call me at 570-503-6780. You can drop me an email at clukasiewicz@carboncounty.net. Or if you want to call the office and go through the ladies who answer the phone and provide us invaluable service, 570-325-3611. Oh, I just saw something pop up about the update on round 1. Okay, nope, I see that. All right, yeah, just an email popped in that caught my eye. In regards to the parking kiosks in the county parking spaces, the county lots, that is continuing to move forward. Matter of fact, just got back from the reliable signs in the eastern area. You can see our pay kiosk here signs. This is one of 3 different signs that is going up. Let me see if I can get this on the camera, right? So above each of the 15 kiosks, 12 of them which are up right now, at a height between 8.5 and 10 feet will be these pay kiosks here. And that's really to indicate where the kiosks are placed in the county lots and in the county what are now metered spaces. So in addition to these signs, we're having well over 30 other signs that are going to indicate, parking enforced Monday through Friday, and what zone that parking takes place. I see a big glare there. All right, so we are moving forward, getting the training set up for our staff and our parking ambassadors. Never turn your back to the audience, right? All right. So we are continuing to move forward with the kiosks. What I suspect probably in the next week or so, you'll see the vertical posts go up for these. Then on about November 3rd, you'll probably start to see the signs going up, maybe a little bit earlier. To include, you're going to see what's called a perforated polyvinyl will be placed on the windows of the current booth, and that'll give parking instructions. So when you come into the county lot, once the kiosks are up and operational, of course you're going to be just driving straight in and not stopping at the booth for those who are doing daily parking. But those 2 windows, that booth is going to stay temporarily at least where it's at now. But those windows are going to be quote unquote, they're going to have this perforated polyvinyl signs on the window, so you're not going to see if anyone's sitting in there, because most of the time there won't be once the kiosks are operational, right? No need for a person to be sitting in that booth. They'll be out doing enforcement. But those are scheduled to go up on 2 November. You'll see those polyvinyl perforated signs go up there. But we are making progress in getting the kiosks up. Now I will tell you, the kiosks actually are functional, right? You could go in and drop a quarter, pay at them if you remove the plastic. However, the software is being programmed, or what's called the back office, right? Remember about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we approved the ordinance, and therefore all that data, like the fees and fines and stuff, are being put into the software program, so when enforcement takes place, or we want to issue permits for parking, temporary permits and things of that nature, we can go ahead and do that. So things are moving along, but there is a lot going on. I know it's hard to imagine that you can't just boom, go and knock it out. But there is a lot going on in the county. I'll give you another example. The 4476th Street renovation project will start on Monday morning. So what's happening starting 26 October, Monday, you will see activity at 44 Susquehanna Street, which is right beside Mist, where they'll start renovation by removing the top level that currently exists, basically taking all that wall from the top level, bringing it in towards the inside, and again start gutting that out over the next couple weeks, month or so. So you'll see that taking place there on 44 Susquehanna, while at the same time on the second floor of 76 there's some minor renovations going on in like the domestic relations office area. That'll start also on the 26th. Now that lot, which is used specifically for county residents, specifically for county employees Monday through Friday, initially we're just going to have about 4 spaces on the 44 end, 4 spaces on the 76 end through the election, right? That's the only thing that's going to be utilized for a couple dumpster. However, immediately after the election, as early as the 4th of November, that entire 4476 Susquehanna parking lot will be restricted and for construction renovation purposes only. Those employees who currently park there will relocate to between the Hooven and the railroad station or into the county lot based upon first come, first served basis. So again, you're going to see a little bit of movement around there, 4476 Susquehanna. The big renovation of 76, which is the first floor, will not take place until the beginning of December. So 20 days after the election will be certified. Elections will then move from 76 Susquehanna up to the Jim Thorpe Area School District building office at 410 Center Avenue up on the hill here in Jim Thorpe, where they'll be joining a workforce development and Carbon County's planning and development, which is already up there. They'll be there through about June, based upon tentative timeline of the renovations of 44 and 76 Susquehanna Street. So again, this is Chris Lukasevich, Carbon County Commissioner, just taking a little bit of time to provide a little bit of update, a little bit of feedback from the Commissioners meeting today. I'm going to end with one item. Yes, we did have a bomb threat that was phoned in to the county yesterday. That was received, and within probably about 10 or 15 minutes, the decision was made to evacuate. So again, from time of receipt till about 3:30, which was, I think it was about 15 minutes or so, made the decision to evacuate the county buildings here locally in Jim Thorpe, 76 Courthouse Administration Building. So early dismissal, 3:30. Area was cordoned off. Building was completely cleared of individuals. State police brought in their dog, their bomb dog. Went through all the primary interior areas, the common spaces, and also the exterior of the building, and then gave the all clear. Now, there was restrictions around all of the buildings. All of the tenants or neighboring buildings were also notified of the situation that took place. So again, this is Chris Lukasevich, Carbon County Commissioner. I'm going to get ready to drop off here, get back to work, and get some lunch also. So again, I want to thank you for tuning in for a few minutes as I reviewed the meeting after the meeting. So it's the meeting, the virtual meeting after the Commissioners meeting, where I'd like to take a few minutes, provide an opportunity to engage with me here on Facebook. But again, never hesitate to give me a call, 570-503-6780, or drop me an email at clukasevich@carboncounty.net. Look forward to seeing you and talking to you in the very near future. Take care. Bye.